It's a good apple. I'm Shay Desiree. Today we're going to be talking about the 10 things they do not tell you before you start college. Okay. So, most times when you hear about college, it's all about, partying. It's all about the hype, like joining fraternities, sororities. Every now and then you talk about like what you gonna major in, but it's really about that on-campus life that gets all the hype. But the main reason we do go to college is for education. And so, don't mind me if I'm looking down at my book. I wrote everything down in here about what I'm going to talk about. So, number one is don't buy from the bookstore. Like, for real, do not buy from the bookstore unless you have to. And when I say you have to, it's like if you have to they have like a lab manual or something that you can't find online. Nobody told me this before I started college, and it's like when you get there and you go to the bookstore, books really be like 200 plus.
Bruh.
It's crazy. Whereas I learned you do some research and you can get books off of Amazon for Chegg. I really mess with Amazon though. And I went and got like Amazon Prime, so you can get like a book for a semester for like $45 and then send it back. So you literally get to rent books and then send it back when you're done with that class. And if you actually wanted to buy the book, you could still buy it online, but it will be for way cheaper than at the actual bookstore. Oh yeah, and make sure that it has the right ISBN number, because there be like different editions of the book for the class. But if you don't have the right ISBN number, then yeah, you basically wasted your money. All right, number two, do not take 8 a.m. classes. I'm telling you again, do not take 8 a.m. classes, because you be thinking you can because you did it in high school, but for some reason, college is different. Getting up to get ready to be on time for 8 a.m., you're gonna end up dropping the class or withdrawing from the class, hopefully, if you still have the time, because it's a struggle. I've tried it like I think maybe at least twice to take an 8 a.m. class, and it did not work out for me. I'm not an early morning person at all. Number three, this is something that I learned along the way, and I integrated it because it's a tactic that I used to use, I think, when I was like in middle school, which is a weird period. I was so organized back then for some reason. But use a planner. And I say this because it's a way, in college, your syllabus is like, that's gonna be your guide. For all of your classes, your syllabus is gonna be your guide. And if you have a planner, you can put all your assignments into one place for all your classes, instead of always having to shuffle through each syllabus to make sure that you turn in an assignment on time. That saves a lot of time. Like if at the beginning of the semester, once you pick all your classes and you have all the syllabi, and you just print all of them out or just look at all of them and then write it down in your planner. And then you could put it either on a weekly or a monthly basis. So for me, I did it for monthly. So then when I look at the month, I see everything that I have due for all my classes on whatever days. Okay, 4, be receptive to who you are. And when I say this, I mean, learn what works for you and what doesn't. So what works for one person may not work for you. College is different than high school. You don't let anybody pressure you into anything at all. Like, it doesn't matter. When it comes to college, like, it's not a popularity test. It's really a time to explore yourself, and you're finding out what you like, what you don't like. You're gonna try new things. Like, this is that time period where for most people, you're finally out the house. You basically get to write your own schedule. You get to do whatever you actually want to do. You just have to know what's working for you if you do try something, and what doesn't. So be receptive to who you are and stay true to that. Number 5, get involved. And this is another point that I stress, because coming into college, I didn't really think about fraternities, sororities type thing. It wasn't something that was on my mind previously. In high school, I did do clubs, I did do that, but it wasn't something, as far as like sororities and stuff, I wasn't really thinking about that when I got to college. But just make sure you get involved in some type of way. It doesn't have to necessarily be a fraternity or a sorority. It could be a club. Just make sure you get involved in something. There have been times where I thought back, like, if I hadn't joined this, I don't know if I would have came out of college with any friends, really, to be honest with you. I made a lot of friends in that organization, and I experienced a lot of things that I hadn't before. So make sure you get involved in some type of way. Number 6 is college is not always a standard 4 years. And when I say this, I mean, people think like, oh, you get in this year, you're gonna be out in 4 years, like, automatically. It doesn't work like that, because in college, you may change your major once or more. And I'm saying this from experience. When I first started, I wanted to be a doctor. I had a biology major. And then once I started really taking the classes, I was like, this isn't something for me. I'm not really enjoying it. Like, I've always liked science, but it just wasn't, it was just too factual. Everything was just facts. And I saw, like, I wasn't really enjoying most of the classes that I took, like psychology or sociology. A lot of those classes took to me, so I ended up switching my major to psychology, but still did pre-med courses. You know, when you switch your major, you may not finish within a 4-year period. Like me, it took 5 years for me to get my bachelor's. It also depends on the number of classes you take and how many semesters you have. Technically, there's spring, Maymester, summer semester, and fall. So I feel like I might be missing one. So there's basically between 4 and 5 semesters in a school year. So you can finish early or on time, depending upon how many classes you take a semester and how many semesters you do out the year. I've done it where I took spring, summer, and then fall, like all the way back to back. And it's gonna feel like you have not had an entire break. Like when summer's done and then you start spring in like 2 weeks, start fall in like 2 weeks, it's gonna feel like you don't have a break. So it really depends on your mindset and how focused you are and just how hard you want to go with taking the classes. Do what's at your pace. Don't feel like you have to take a full load of classes. You don't have to take 5 classes. I feel like it's better to take what you know you can handle, depending upon the class, because some classes have a lot of dense material versus other classes. So I feel like it's always good to kind of mix them together in one semester, have a balance of not so hard classes with the really dense classes. So then you can still wane your time between all of them and give them the attention they need so you can get the highest grade possible. Number 7, have an idea of what you want to do. Have an idea of like what jobs go with your major. This is when you want to start researching to see like okay, if I major in this, what jobs can I get after I graduate? Am I gonna have to get a master's to really get a good job? These are things that you want to research and look into, because this is your time and this is your money. If you're going to school in America, you already know college is not cheap. So you want to make sure that you're investing your money wisely. And if plan A fails, have a plan B, have a backup plan. This is life. Not all the time does things go the way that we plan and want them to. So just do your research, have a plan A, have a plan B, even a plan C of what you want to do, what majors, what jobs that you might be interested in. Number 8. This is a funny one, and I'm okay, for real. This is real. That refund check, guess what? It's not really for you. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. That refund check, not really for you. And I'm saying this because people get a refund. If you get in loans and you get a refund, bruh, guess what? When you graduate, they give you like 6 months, and they gonna be like coming knocking at your door, where my money at? And college, you struggle. So I understand you may be needing some of that refund for actual things that you need. But I would say also try to keep a portion, try to keep a portion to put it to the side, in some type of, if you got to make a different savings account specifically for this, do it. Try to put some of that money aside for repaying back your loans. Because thankfully for me, I went to Georgia State. So even though to me it is expensive, there are schools where it's triple the amount of Georgia State tuition. Even though a loan is a loan, you don't want to have a really big loan to pay off and you don't have any type of money you can defer it, but at some point it's depending on the loan, you're going to have interest build upon it. So you at least want to have something to pay off the interest, so it doesn't keep building up, and that initial loan you had, now it's a whole nother number of what you got to pay. All right, number 9 is budgeting. That's my main point, is you want to save. College, if you haven't struggled before, this is gonna really show you. This is gonna test you. College is gonna test you when it comes to money, because you're gonna have scholarships, you got loans, you took care of that, but as far as the day to day, I need money for groceries, I need money for gas or Uber. You're gonna want to hang out, you're gonna want to go to functions, buy outfits for those functions, hang out, go eat with your friends. You need to budget your money for all of that. So you need to have it where you divide up the money that you're getting paid from your paycheck, put some towards groceries, your car, playtime. You want to divide that up, but you also do want to try to save during this period of time, because you never know what might happen. If you have a car, your car may give out. You might need, a new car or something, because that's happened to me and people I know, where something just happens where it's dang, I need money to supplement what just happened to me. So you want to make sure that you stay on top of just trying to save as much as you can and putting aside money and dividing it for all the things that you want and need to do. And my last point, which is also very important, is culture and nurture your professional relationships. And when I say that, I mean with your professors. So college is plus or minus 4 years, right? So you're gonna have so many different professors amongst that time. And don't feel bad if you don't connect with a professor within your first year, because it's especially the first semester. A lot of people they don't learn certain things until after the first semester, but you do want to make some type of connection with at least 2 professors in your college career, because you're going to need this when you're looking for an internship, or they can even provide like some type of networking basically for you, so they can vouch for you when you're applying for a program or another school, and they're going to ask you for recommendations. So them being a professor, they can vouch for you and say, yeah, I remember that student. They did XYZ. And when that time comes, you're going to have to give like a personal statement to them or whatever. But aside from that, you want to have at least 2 professors that you connect with, that you stay in contact with. If it's your sophomore year and you made a relationship with a professor, check in with that professor, maybe monthly or bi-monthly, but you want to check in. You just want to maintain that relationship, so then have them get to know you, get to know them. So when the time period comes, it's not like, I don't know who this person is. When you ask them like to write a recommendation for you, you don't want them to be looking at you crazy, because it's like, I don't know who you are. I don't know anything about you. So you want to make sure that you just get to know them and just be yourself. I hope this video was helpful. Put any questions you have below. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.